This is Ariana Rollins, and you're listening to Mindful Manifesting. I'm so glad you're here. How does someone use manifesting to make more money? Or better said, why do some people have challenges making money, especially entrepreneurs? That's exactly what we're talking about today in the podcast. But before we do that, if you'd like to kickstart your manifesting journey and play with accomplishing things from greater ease and less frustration, I invite you to get my free download, and I'll put the link in the show notes. All right, on to this episode. So I've been teaching how to achieve your short-term goals, short-term like 30 to 40 days, and the nearly impossible, the ones where you're so excited about it and you have no idea how it's going to happen. I've been doing that for, nearly 20 years. And I've been working with a lot of entrepreneurs, primarily people who are authors, creatives, actors, musicians, but not only those, but coaches and people who have something, an experience. Again, they've got a gift and they want to share it with others. They want to teach others how they did it. Well, one of the things that for entrepreneurs is really critical. You don't have a business if you don't have sales. I mean, that's just true. So most people have come to this work with a crying desire or need to make money, get more clients, increase revenue. And one of the things that I've observed over this many years of teaching this is that it's usually the reason why people aren't making money is not what they think. So let me unpack that a little bit. So sometimes people say, well, my prospective clients just don't see the value of what I'm bringing. Other people say that I've been doing such great work on deserving, and I deserve to make a good living. I'm really good at what I do. I deserve this. Other people come and they say, I'm working really hard and I'm making all the right efforts, all the right actions, but money's not coming. So those are three, they seem like different issues, different problems or reasons why they're not making good money. So often what they'll do is they will make a decision that, I need to be on social media. That's the way to make money. And they will purchase a course on how to be on Facebook or Instagram, how to create your page, how to create engaging posts, and make sure you do it every day, and on and on. Or they say, I really need to learn how to copyright. I need to be better at copywriting. And so they take a course on copywriting, or they need to learn how to just market themselves, be a better speaker. You're getting the idea, right? So they eagerly go to do that, and they learn new things, and they apply it, maybe not fully, because we never apply everything we learn, right? And then they look and they say, it didn't change anything. My income is the same that it has been. And they get really discouraged, really disappointed. And then their hope gets inspired, and they find another program coming through their email inbox, or a friend suggests something, and it's like, I need to learn how to do live events. I'm going to go to this training and learn how to do live events or retreats. That's it. That's my ticket to greater income. So by the time they find me, are you starting to get maybe where this is going? They're discouraged. They're disappointed. And they have started to believe that it's not possible for them to increase their income, but there still is a driving desire. They love what they're doing and they want to make a living at it. So, why this is an important topic is that rarely do entrepreneurs look inside. And I will say, I have been conditioned that this solution is outside of me. It's the next book, it's the next program. And rarely do they look at, how am I turning up to my prospective clients? How am I turning up as a teacher, a service provider to my existing clients? What's my attitude? attitude sounds like a bad word. I don't mean it like that. What's my perspective? What's my, how do I present myself? How do I teach? What's my customer service when someone has become a client? How do I turn up? And that's another thing. And then we're going to go into this in more detail, is that as an entrepreneur, we are also trained that you always need to be growing your list. You need to be looking out to expand your market, get more clients. But rarely do people look at the people they have already attracted, their warm market, and nurture and love on them. It's always more, more, more. Again, nothing wrong with that. So let's look at this customer service perspective and looking within. If someone has had repeated disappointments and discouragements and, well, you could say even failures at making the income that they want, that they know they're capable of, and they're doing all the right things, quotes around it, what can happen is by the time they have come to this work is they're hurt. They're very easily triggered. They've got so much disappointment and, might I say, even pain. It's hard to be a successful entrepreneur. I think we would all agree. And so when they start this work, they are so conditioned to look outside of themselves that they know what the solve is. They know what the problem is. And I'm just going to go after that. And I do remember one client last year. The very first teaching that we go into is how to achieve our short-term objectives, 30 to 40 days. Because in my experience, once we get that as a base, we know how to accomplish that. Then we leap into the bigger ones. But I remember this one client, passionate about his work. He was a coach. And he wanted to set an objective that was $90,000 in 90 days. Well, as a teacher of these techniques for the past 20 years, I've got a good sense of what's the foundation. What do we do first to be able to create that nearly impossible success, that big objective? And he was really resistant to hearing the feedback. So sometimes when we've got our private sessions, I will ask, I said, how deep do you want to go on this? Do you want me to ask you the facing questions? Do you want me to help pull out the beliefs, the resistance that is getting in the way of you making that income? Usually I get a yes. People really want to solve the problem. Well, this guy was so resistant to hearing this after I asked him about his income. And his income was, and I'm not going to repeat it, it's private, but it was very, very low compared to that intention, that target. And what that means is the desirabilities 10 plus on a 1 to 10 scale, but also the difficulty was beyond a 10 because he'd never made that level of income in his business ever. And I like not baby steps, but rungs on a ladder. Let's start with something that feels reasonable. You can imagine it happening, and you feel this relaxation and comfort in your body. That's a really good sign. For him, it was, I have to make it. I'm in debt. I'm just stretching myself beyond what I can sustain. I have to make this $90,000 in 90 days. And it's really cool, right? 90K in 90 days. It's fun, right? And we want to kind of leap into these ideas. He was resistant to following the steps and looking at first within himself what was blocking it. Why was he not achieving that? What's going on? And so that particular client built this like an edge around him and said, nobody can tell me anything. I know that, I want it, and I'm going to have it. And sadly, he gave up. He gave up the work and went off and did not achieve it. And then in that particular case, which was really sad because he was very eager to learn, very on track. But when we come to learning how to accomplish manifest, accomplish our objectives, and it's a little bit of a different path, then we can resist it. And we can say, no, I know exactly what I want, and just show me how to get that, and don't talk to me about anything else. Okay, let's talk about another example. And these are painful ones because I've had people come to me and they've made money in spontaneous ways, which is always wonderful to hear. Okay, but they were open to doing things differently. Are you starting to see the trend here? Another one, brilliant teacher and brilliant provider of services. And it was in the health realm. And what happened is I observed from the side is that his perspective of how he should be esteemed by his prospects and his clients was, I'm way up here. I'm really good at what I do, and you should respect me. You should treat me accordingly. And this man was extremely triggered if someone, if he felt rejected in any way. And so what would happen is that he was repelling his prospects. He was repelling his clients. So sometimes he would attract someone, but they wouldn't stay with him because there was, you're doing things wrong. You're not following me. You're not respecting me. And all of that, those are inner blockages that are creating outer blockages, outer obstacles, outer results. So whenever we have an issue that we're not accomplishing something, especially money, guarantee it's not where you think the issue is. Guaranteed. And I've watched this in myself and in my clients over the last 20 years. It's rarely where we want to look, and it's how we are being, our attitude, how we are treating people. Because if we're coming from a place of openness, love, service, then wouldn't the money come? There's something to that. There's something to that. If we are in service, yes, we need to be paid for our services. But if we are leading with that, people feel it. It feels yucky. It feels sticky. I'll share a story and then we'll start to wrap up. And I may have shared this before, but I think it's a really good one. So I grew up in just outside Los Angeles in Whittier, California. And then I moved to Long Beach as a teenager. Well, there were bases, military bases in that area. And I remember someone, I'm not sure who it was, but they were warning me about jarheads. And I was like, what's a jarhead? Because I was a 13-year-old girl. And they said, they're these guys that are coming off the boats and they haven't been around females for whatever, if they're Navy, 3 to 6 months, and you know what they're interested in. And I was like, can you tell it's a jarhead? I said, because they get these funny cuts, so that it's like shaved in the back. And it looks like the hair is just on the top, I'm guessing. So I was on alert for jarheads. So if I would go out with friends and then would be approached, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what this guy wants. Yeah, not always, but you know what I mean. Well, entrepreneurs can look like that. It's like, yeah, have this energy of, I need money. And I need it now. Like that one client I was talking about, the $90,000 in 90 days. He desperately needed money. That is an energy. And it's a sticky, scarcity, icky energy. And so just like these, unfortunate name, jarheads, these military guys, it's a horrible term, would repel the female because they were hungry. They're hungry for physical attention from females. And if an entrepreneur is coming from hunger and they need that money, it can be felt. And it is not coming from a place of abundance and love and service. It's coming from a place of deservedness, need, and scarcity. So how do we solve that? Well, I would love to invite you for a discovery conversation. It's not coaching, but I've been told I'm really insightful and we can pull some things out. So if you'd like to have a discovery call with me, which is something that can be profoundly life-changing, to start to have someone from the outside who can see the patterns and is going to be direct, upfront with you, and perhaps guide you to the results that you want in a way that you haven't thought about. All right. I've so enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much for listening. And as we wrap up, remember, as you confirm yourself, you chart your own path to success. So much love. Many blessings. Bye for now.